Attention, if you or a loved one has been shown this image, you may be eligible for financial compensation. This here is a rare image linked to ego crippling, embarrassment, and getting ratioed. You may have been exposed to this image on YouTube, Reddit, and even Twitter. Please don't wait. Call 444 for a free reality check. So the other night, 2 months ago, this video's been on my back burner, I was playing Marvel Rivals with one of my cohorts in a Discord call, and I stated how I really liked Black Panther, but I didn't like how he isn't a very good character in-game, in which they replied by saying they didn't like the Black Panther movie, and I simply said, well, did you watch it? They did not watch it. And then inspiration struck. You have no doubt seen this edited image from Spider-Man before. I know that because I literally just showed it to you. Keep up. The original line reads, "That's a cute outfit, did your husband give it to you?" Immediately started this video with the homophobia. At least it's kind of funny. And the altered one being, "That's a cute opinion, did a YouTuber give it to you?" But why does this image exist? Most of you dungeon crawlers will probably recognize this as a reaction image. When you don't want to actually formulate an argument but still want to be correct online, you can throw one of these below whoever you're attacking and immediately turn them into a straw man and you as the always correct base Chad that you are. Throughout the years of the internet, dozens of reaction images have been created to all suit different types of niches. See something that makes you a little upset? Boy, is there a variety of funny images to choose from. See something that makes you happy? Someone's art you wish you could make out with? Something that gives you disgust? These basic emotions have no end to how different reaction images can represent them. But then we start getting a little bit more specific with reaction images that can really only fit specific interactions. This image of Gustavo from Breaking Bad saying, "I saw what you deleted." You're never going to guess what scenario that would be used in. Did somebody see your post and make it about them? Here is a very specific image of Bugs Bunny. You get the gist. I think the only people who don't understand the concept of a reaction image is my 65+ audience. And our friend the Spider-Man image here is one of those incredibly niche ones. But despite how incredibly specific it is, I see it used way more than you would think. But how is that? Why would somebody else just steal the opinion of some random YouTuber? You really think someone would do that? Go on the internet and tell lies? The answer is yes, of course, or else the image wouldn't exist. But why are so many people nowadays just taking the word of YouTubers as fact? I definitely feel like there's a lot of factors going into this, but I think one of the most prevalent ones is every person with no attention span's favorite pastime, the multi-hour YouTube video essay. Just don't look at my channel if you wouldn't mind. You won't find anything that invalidates my next point, trust me, bro. Have you ever been in that situation where you just hate having to go without entertainment for half an hour while you complete some menial task? A YouTube video essay is sure to fill that void. Most video essays that focus around some type of media like shows, movies, games, are usually of the comprehensive review sort, going over every little nook and cranny of whatever they're discussing. But regardless of their time, usually falling somewhere shorter on the length of whatever is being discussed. So a lot of the time, people who are only half interested in what is being discussed will watch these and internalize them as their own opinions, without actually going out and watching or experiencing the source material. We all know that one person who watched a CinemaSins video on a movie and immediately wrote it off as sucking, despite their entire job being needlessly nitpicking something for the sake of comedy. Now, why would somebody do this? Who would just want to steal somebody else's opinion and run with it? The answer is a lot of people. You see, when a lot of these videos can reach into the several hour mark, most just go off and assume that the video was well researched without fact-checking everything. I mean, if it's that long, it's gotta be right. Nobody would just go on the internet and tell lies, right? Honestly, that isn't an invalid opinion to have. Who would be so dedicated to a topic but somebody who is dedicated to a topic? If you are passionate about something to a degree of making a video that's several hours long about it, you must know what you're talking about, right? Here is the most popular video on my channel. It is 4.5 hours long, covers the entirety of Red vs. Blue, and here is everything I got wrong. I incorrectly stated the game currently on screen is Doom, when in fact it is the Bungie game known as Marathon. This character here goes unnamed for a while, but later gets named Cockline, which isn't brought up into one of the final seasons of the show, so I just say she's never named. I falsely state that the helmet muffle effect layered over all of the dialogue in the show is because they had bad microphones, when in reality one of the voice actors just did all of the recording over the phone, and that's why they did it that way. All of the different AI in the show have key personality traits that they represent, which I got most of incorrect. I said that the same writer for the first 13 seasons left at season 10, and probably another dozen mistakes I just forgot about. But this video is so long! What do you mean I got so much wrong? I mean, sure, it was long, but it was poorly researched, so length doesn't really equate to anything here. And that's why length is a poor metric to go off to judge quality. It's my video with the most views. It's my video that is the longest. You would expect it to be the highest quality, but it simply isn't. The only way to judge quality is you yourself judging it. Fact check people when they say shit, or else you'll internalize opinions that are just wrong. Now you're spreading lies on the internet. Now, hold on a second. What about video essays that are longer than the source material? Why would somebody want to go out of their way and watch someone discuss something when they can just watch it for themselves and form their own opinions? Well, you see, this is why.
And today we go back to retrospectively review and compare elements of 3 of Nintendo's sports titles.
Don't fucking judge me, you do it too. Doesn't watching a 1.5 hour movie take so much effort? Why would I want to do that when I can maximize my free time by listening to someone talk about the same thing while playing a video game or taking care of some other task? I have absolutely no source on this and I'm going off of straight vibes, but I am certain that's how most people consume video essays. People do it to mine, I've done it to video essays of my own friends. Let's be real for a minute. I mean, yeah, I only spent hundreds of dollars on these visuals and spent an entire day making this set. How about you go back to strip mining? This ties into a different point I'll get into later, but a lot of people have a tendency to throw a video like this on in the background just to give their brain something to do while they perform a trivial task. Now, nothing's wrong with this, but the second you start taking these opinions you internalize while getting a victory royale as fact is about where it becomes a problem. It just goes back on what I was saying a second ago. Watching long-ass videos to fill space in your head isn't an issue. It only becomes an issue when you start using it as a replacement and taking other people's opinions as your own. Like and subscribe if you only agree with me after I've said something about it. Look, I have tried to watch a movie while playing a game like Minecraft, and it doesn't work. So I understand somebody who wants to be double entertained seeing this as the easiest option. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I meant to say the laziest! Internalizing opinions through both of these means just makes it easy for misinformation to get spread. Watch my hour and 15-minute long video about why Minecraft isn't as good as Terraria, and my opinion is now yours. You don't have to put in any of the brain power that is required to make an opinion, just listen to me, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, I could just sit here and lambast my older videos all day, but there is a significantly stronger and more prevalent example of this exact thing. The most infamous example of a video that spreads misinformation, you probably saw this coming if you're in the video essay space, Lily Orchard's Steven Universe video. What can be said that hasn't already been said? This video masquerades itself as an in-depth review of Steven Universe when in reality it's 2 hours of propaganda trying to make you hate a person who did nothing wrong. I didn't actually watch the video for this one. It spreads lies, misinformation, and when it's trying to do actual analysis, it gets it wrong. If this was uploaded today, it would get immediately lambasted as the borderline hit piece that it is. But this wasn't posted today, and for way too long cemented how people viewed Steven Universe despite the fact most of it was incorrect. But that fact doesn't matter, does it? It was 2 hours long, so people took it as gospel. People who had seen the video had now been turned against the show they hadn't even seen. And because of how popular it got, public reception of Steven started to sway. Steven Universe began to be seen as nothing but cringe and poorly written when it's neither of those things. Probably, you should go out and form your own opinion. That's what I'm getting at, though. People watched what was blatant misinformation, started spreading that opinion, and then people who hadn't even seen the video started dunking on the show based off of the misinformation from a video they didn't watch. I would know. I was one of those people. This video serves to show what is just about the worst case scenario for a video of its kind. This right here is why it's important to form your own opinions instead of just listening to what other people have to say. Because other people's opinions are just that. Other people's opinions. It doesn't matter how much research it looks like they did or how thorough they are. At the end of the day, you should be the final say in what you like. But damn man, these make it seem enticing to believe them. For the next part of this video, we need to talk about every YouTuber's favorite topic. Give me an A, give me an L, give me a... algorithm. Yeah, I'm sorry, we need to talk about the YouTube algorithm. Which of these 2 titles do you think you are more likely to see appear in your recommended? Marvel's Avengers isn't a horrible game, but is pretty generic and isn't that good either. Or, Marvel's Avengers should have been great. Marvel's Avengers, why it was a disaster. Marvel's Avengers is still awful. 2023 review. This should not have been released in this state. Marvel Avengers review. Marvel Avengers game critique. An important disappointment. You get the point. We as humans tend to gravitate towards a video if it's more negative. That's just who we are. We love to hate. So it's no surprise that a video's title being overly negative would garner more attention, which completely evaporates nuanced discussion. I used Marvel's Avengers as an example because my brother played it and said it was pretty decent. Of course, that was his opinion, which I'm now taking as my own, so you can now throw away the last 10 minutes of the video you just watched. But the point is, to him at least, it wasn't as horrible, spit in the face of God-worthy as people painted it to be. Did it underdeliver? Yes. Were a lot of people disappointed? Definitely. Do I personally think the character designs look like ass? But if the game is bad or not is to your own opinion. None of these people can or should decide that for you. Unfortunately, because of algorithms like YouTube's, the videos that get pushed more often than not are the ones that don't have nuanced discussion to them, but more so favor the ones that are either the high end or low end of opinions. X thing is a masterpiece, or Y thing is a disaster. That's not to say whatever people like this talk about aren't necessarily really good or really bad. What I'm saying is, though, is that having opinions only be positive or negative to appeal algorithms immediately squashes actual discussion. Okay, so let's say somebody makes their title really negative or really positive, but then makes the actual video the in-depth coverage. Unfortunately, that doesn't really help things either. If people see this massive influx of negative titles and thumbnails about something, even if they don't watch the actual videos, they're probably still going to internalize different pieces of media as bad or good based off of this alone. Of course, none of this would be a problem if people want another way to experience the media these videos are about. I haven't actually played Marvel's Avengers. On top of the ability to throw a 1 hour long video discussing a 5 hour long game in the background, another reason I think stealing YouTubers' opinions is so popular because of the shortening attention spans. Playing a 20-hour game and thinking for yourself takes so much work, doesn't it? Don't you just wish there was an easier way? Of course there is, it's called cheating. Look, I get it. A lot of people don't actually have the attention span, or less so the time to sit down and actually go through movies or shows or games or books. But there's actually this really cool thing you can do called not talking about it. Like, if you want to jump into a conversation about something and all you have to cite for your opinion is somebody else's, you can just say, I heard it was bad, instead of you saying you know it's bad. But is that always the case? It's always better to go out and get your own thoughts on something instead of just listening to somebody else's. But Morbius, though. Okay, I'm gonna go off script for a second to deliver a random anecdote that happened to me literally recently that I just need to throw in here. So, you've all probably heard of Madam Web. The film sucked from what I've heard. And my mom heard the same thing, but she's a huge Marvel fan and wanted to watch it anyways to form her own opinion. She fucking hated it. Sometimes I think it's honestly okay to just take the word of random strangers. When practically everybody on the internet, no matter what website it is slamming something due to its quality, I think it's pretty okay to say it sucks. I haven't seen the film Madam Web, and I probably won't because I heard it's garbage. Do I know it's garbage? No, but am I going to waste 2 hours of my time answering that question? What the fuck do you think? Honestly, I find it hard to blame people who run with others' opinions when they are so monumental like this. When everybody is saying that something is shit, is it really on you for believing them? Not everybody is made of time, so listening to the opinions of others on how you should spend it isn't always a bad thing. Not everybody has the willpower to sit through an entire movie or game, and they don't want to waste their time throwing it to the chance that it's a good one. So I can see the perspective of somebody who would want to just listen to somebody else's opinion and be done with it. I mean, all things considered, I'm a hypocrite here. My brother said Craven the Hunter was good. I have a weird fucking brother, but I saw everybody on the internet saying it was bad, so I never gave it a chance. And I probably will never watch Craven the Hunter because regardless of quality, I just don't really care about the film. But that's not the point. The point is, I think I lost the point. I think I've cemented both sides of the argument now. We have side A that is against the spread of misinformation and demands everybody form their own opinions, and side B that doesn't want to have their time wasted with something they wouldn't enjoy. Instead of choosing a side, I'm going to act like nobody's favorite political position and be more of a centrist on this one. What if both of these sides are valid? Yes, I definitely lean stronger towards side A, but I completely understand why somebody would be off to side B. But what is the best solution here? Both of them. Let's say something is getting unanimously praised across the board, like Astrobot for example. It is safe to say that it is a good game despite the fact that I have not played it. I am willing to listen to the unanimous vote, or a game like Cyberpunk 2077 at launch. Everybody hated it, so despite the fact I hadn't played it then, and haven't played it now, it's safe to say it wasn't very good. But what about a game like Cyberpunk again. People are now saying they fixed a lot of its problems and it's actually really good, while others are still saying it's bad. In an instance like this, I say it's best to trust your own word. Go out and play it or watch or read whatever seems to be getting mixed opinions and see if any of it's good for yourself. Video essays here still have merit though. The YouTuber SkidiBitty made a video about why they hated Tears of the Kingdom. At this point, I had already played and beaten the game, but still wanted to hear their perspective. And after I was done watching, I still liked Tears of the Kingdom. I understood a lot of their points and mostly agreed with them, but I still really liked it, and I wouldn't have gotten that perspective if I hadn't listened to its detractors and experienced it for myself, which is really what I'm trying to get at through this video. Critiques, video essays, and other people's reviews should refine an opinion, not define one. While I was writing this video, I was really self-conscious if it was pure dog ass or not, so I showed the script to two of my friends to ask their thoughts on it, and one of them actually gave a really good take on the whole thing.
God damn it, all they gave me was this fucking stool.
Hello, very good take here. I'm here to refine your opinions on this matter. What mattered? This matter. Matter of fact, the matter doesn't really matter. What matters is that my Butso Pascaccio talking about internalizing opinions here is wrong.
Okay, I'm sorry, can any of you understand a goddamn word he's saying? No, not even slightly. Okay, I think it's fine. Just add some subtitles. No, not over me. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Internalizing opinions isn't an inherently bad thing. You've been doing it all your life. That's how the human brain works. Much as the theoretical you I'm speaking to might like to believe otherwise, you didn't think up your political stance out of thin air. You heard it from someone else, and based upon how much those relate to things other people from way and not so way before that have told you, you've judged how much you agree with that. The important thing, if you ask me, is not to internalize other people's opinions, but to listen to as many different perspectives as you can. Yes, be critical of what other people say, that should speak for itself, but be also critical of what you say to other people. Not just in the case of video game opinions, but in life in general. You don't know what prejudices you hold until the one being prejudiced tells them to you. You might disagree with someone, but you will never know why you disagree until you listen to their disagreements. Objectivity doesn't exist, at least not always. There's no human perfection, no truth by which we as a species can become forever happy with no soul suffering. But you can try to hear out as many opinions as you can, to understand as best as you can. Internalize enough opinions and you get to your own. And maybe you'll find that me and Gas really don't disagree at all.
Well, I actually do disagree with one thing there, and that is that I'm human perfection. But honestly, they make up a great argument here. You're always going to get opinions from other people and stuff around you. That's just how our brains work. It's your responsibility to make sure what opinions and values you hold are the truth. Misinformation and fake news is like wildfire nowadays. So if you have an opinion, no matter if it's from a YouTuber, you should make sure it's at least factual. You should define your own opinions, and you should let others refine them. I defined my own opinions on Tears of the Kingdom, and Skiddy's video refined it. That's how I think more people should start approaching others' viewpoints on the web. See them for what they are. Other people's perspectives. It doesn't matter that some random person didn't like Black Panther, that's completely valid. What matters is defining if you like Black Panther. Everybody's opinion should be taken with a grain of salt. Because sure, some people are out there purely to inform and share what they think, while others may have more nefarious intentions. So if there's one opinion you should take from a YouTuber, it's that you shouldn't believe everything you see. Doesn't matter how official it looks, everything's up for scrutiny. Wait, me saying that kind of invalidates the whole video, doesn't it? I mean, like I'm a YouTuber telling you how to have opinions. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. That's so sexy. If you want to be like one of these cool and epic people you see off to the right, I have memberships you can join for like $1. Or if you're poor, you can just subscribe, which is awesome. I will be hitting 10,000 by the end of this year, and you will be helping me get there. And if you didn't like anything about this video, please tell me. Please, I'm serious, I will read them.